Okay. All right, so I'm officially calling this meeting to order. If everybody wants to either sit up tall or stand in their place and say the Pledge of Allegiance with me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone. I do have an agenda. I know we're not able to pass out our typical meeting notes. So here's a quick rundown of everything we'll be covering this evening. I did put in the chat for those of you who are on a computer. I have uploaded Excel files for things that our treasurer will be covering in their treasurer's report. So you're welcome to download those. Hopefully we'll be able to work out a function where we'll be able to share these with you in a better way. Unfortunately, Facebook doesn't have a document upload area. So if you have specific questions, we will work on budget stuff later. And of course, my computer wants to restart and we're not doing that right now. Okay. So for those of you who were with us in our June meeting, I guess actually let's do some introductions before we approve next or the June meeting minutes. This is weird because we're all kind of on mute. But I am Katie Andrews. I am our PTA president. Does anybody want to come off mute and introduce themselves?
Hi, I'm Donna Foster, acting treasurer, future secretary.
Hi, I'm Mary Ann Deering. I'm the acting future treasurer, acting secretary. Is that how we did it, Donna?
Our vice president is on a mini vacation, Vanessa Campbell. She was our previous president and this year's vice president, so she's not with us today, but she's with us in spirit.
You get down from there.
No? Okay. Anybody else want to say hi or we're good?
I would like to introduce myself to the parents on here. I'm Kelly Radley and I'm the new assistant principal at Franklin Elementary. So it's wonderful to finally meet some parents. So it's a pleasure being here.
Welcome.
Hi, I'll say hi. My name is Mary Russell and I am one of the teacher representatives for the PTA.
Hi, I can go next. My name is Jennifer Gerlin. I'm a kindergarten teacher at Ben Franklin Elementary, and I'll be working with Mary Russell and Betsy Smith as one of the PTA reps as well. So, hello, everyone.
Hi, my name is Laura. I have a daughter in 2nd grade at Franklin.
Hi, my name is Holly. I have a 2nd and 4th grader at Franklin.
Hi, I'm Lindsay. I have a 1st grader and a kindergartner.
Hi, I'm Ashley. I have a 3rd grader.
Hi, I'm Christine. I have a two kids in 1st grade.
Hi, I'm Kia Evans. For those of you who haven't met yet, I'm building principal. Nice to see you all and meet you all. Thank you for being here tonight.
Great. Thank you, guys. Thank you for those who wanted to introduce yourselves. Normally, again, this is so strange. We're normally at a round table or square table in the community room, and it's a little more warm and friendly. So I appreciate those who came off mute and said hi. So typically our first order of business is we need to approve last month's meeting minutes. I know some of you were not a part of that meeting last month. Does anybody who was there want to give their approval and raise their hand?
I'll approve it, Katie.
Thank you, Holly. And I have Donna and we have Lindsay. raising their hand. All right. We take a note of that over there, Donna or Mary Ann?
Yep, on it.
Perfect, thank you. Okay, so unfortunately, I do have a lot to share with everybody, but wanted to talk to you guys about the future of fundraising for the school for this year. Obviously, COVID has really shaken up and changed things, and how we're like what even the PTA does and what we can do to support our children this year, and how do we raise those funds to be able to do that. And obviously we're not spending necessarily as much as we would in years past in regards to field trips and author visits and things like that, but there's going to be a need in the future. And we know as soon as, you know, teachers are able to take the kids out and we are able to have guests in and we're able to do all of the things, we're going to need funds to be able to do that. We've also incurred a pretty hefty expense through Scholastic that we have not had in the past, which we'll get to, and it's included in our budget that we'll talk a little bit about later, that we need to either find ways to raise the funds for, and that's the Scholastic magazine, or it's something we just have to have a conversation about of no longer being able to supply that to our teachers and to our children at no cost any longer. So typically in the fall, as some of the parents know, fundraisers that we usually have would be the fall catalogs. We would do the quarter carnival in the fall. And right now it's not really, those aren't really things that we can do. We're not able to hand out those catalogs to you guys because the students aren't in school. We don't have ways to send that home, and we don't have ways to collect those order forms and collect the money, and we can't get in the building and sort all those orders once they come in and hand them out to you guys. Reggae does offer, the company that we do our fundraising through, they do offer a hybrid kind of online ordering option for fundraiser. So that is something. It's kind of their Winter Wonderland catalog. I think we've used that before, where it's some of the wrapping paper and some of the little Christmassy gifts that you can, you know, buy for your family and friends. But those orders are typically, that would be done through in like November. So we talked, some of us on the board talked about that this weekend, but that I felt like that kind of bumped up to another thing that we traditionally do in the fall semester is that holiday shop for our children. And that's not going to be able to happen, unfortunately. We're not going to be able to be in the building if the students are back in the building between October and November. We're not going to be able to be in there having that nice little winter holiday shop set up where they can come in and buy gifts for the parents and their siblings and their grandparents, just due to COVID regulations and COVID rules and health and safety measures. So there's been a number of companies that offer online holiday shopping for the children. So if we were to do an online catalog fundraiser, we weren't sure if we felt that those two kind of bumped into each other and negated each other, and we wanted to bring it up to you guys to talk about, would you prefer one option over the other? The other thing we talked about was maybe doing some chicken dinners this fall through Chevetta's or some of the other companies that run those, and those can be just drive-by, drop-off, just like we've seen, like St. Amelia's has been doing a lot of those, and other organizations. That can be real easy, very light contact in the front loop or in one of the parking lots, and that's a good way to make some money. The restaurant dinner profit shares, Anderson's is doing one. Thank you, Holly, for sharing that with me. I know Chipotle is offering that, and I'm sure there are a couple other restaurants that you guys know of that we could probably set up a week, send that information out to parents, and do the restaurant profit sharing. But going back to the traditional catalog fundraisers and the things that we typically do, like the quarter carnival, we're most likely going to be pushing that off into the spring, fingers crossing, when things maybe get a little bit better and we can either get back into the building or have better weather in the spring where we could do maybe the quarter carnival outside and pair that with our typical basket raffle. So Anybody want to share some feedback? I know when we're in the community room, we typically have really good open dialogue. Anybody want to give me some of their ideas, what they like about what we plan to do this fall, what they don't like, or if they have different suggestions or recommendations?
Well, I definitely like the chicken dinner because you always see that they're slammed.
Yeah, I agree with the chicken dinner. I think is awesome. I've also seen a couple of virtual meat raffles too.
So I have looked into that, and I have researched the virtual meat raffles. They can make a lot of money. However, they cost a lot of money up front. They cost $4,500 for the meat alone, $500 for the company to run it. However, they do run everything. And then another $500 for them to have a trailer to kind of hold all of the meat like the day after for people to come and pick it up. Now, depending on what price point we would want to sell tickets at, they typically recommend either $35 or $50 a ticket. And that's typically 13 rounds, 13 pulls, and each person who buys a ticket would get a ticket for each round. You can also sell some like 50/50s within there. You can make, like if you sell 300 tickets or 500 of these $50 tickets or $35 tickets, you can make anywhere between, $7,000 to $12,000. But the problem is you have to come up with that upfront $5,000 investment. And we kind of really sat there and thought, that is a lot of money for us to put into a fundraiser that we don't know if we can realistically sell 2, 3, 4, 500 tickets to. And we're doing we have a good cushion of money to kind of keep us settled and ready for next year, for when things kind of open back up, and we can take some risks. We're happy to take some risks with some fundraising, but I don't know. I'd rather play the cautious card on some of these fundraisers and maybe give parents a break and maybe take it a little lighter on some fundraising this year, knowing maybe some people are in a tough time, than take a huge risk and spend $5,000 on something that I don't know if we're going to be able to make that much money back in.
I remember something.
This is a conversation. We can talk about that and see.
Yeah, well, last year we had talked
feel.
about doing a raffle, and we had an issue with finding a place. So I was thinking, that would be a way for us to get rid of the issue of finding a place to do it. But yeah, I hadn't heard anything about the cost of it. Just was, thinking, hey, we got rid of the place issue.
Yeah, no, I researched because there was that radio interview with a woman through Western New York meat raffles. So I was emailing with her. I think her name's Caitlin. And she was, again, you can, if you have a huge following and you have huge support and a lot of people that are going to buy all these tickets, then it is fantastic. I'm just not sure unless someone's like, I know tons of people and I would sell tons of people or tons of tickets. But it just makes me nervous to make that
kind of
an investment. So,
Well, could I interject real quickly? The meat raffle at $5,500 off the top. Our Chevettas, if we figure out what our cost is, times per chicken, we're only putting, why is my calculator not working? Because we have to pre-order 360 chickens. They bring more, but 360, we're still under $1,500 upfront cost right off the top. That's nothing. That's $4,000 difference. Excuse me. Not that we can't do it. It's just we've got to have everybody 100% committed to making sure we try to do the best with it. If that's something everybody really wants to, and I think that would be a good avenue too, to maybe use as a basket raffle area. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs of the computer end of it, but just throwing out numbers. Put myself back on mute now.
Has anybody gone to or done a virtual auction or virtual basket raffle? No? I was part of an organization that ran an art one this summer, but I didn't attend it. I could probably ask them how they ran it. I know all the payments went through like Venmo, but I'm not sure how they did like showing of the products. It was a virtual art show that they did. And I'm not sure how they like sold the tickets and what that entailed. So I think, okay, figured I'd ask. So that's kind of our plan, unless anybody has anything new and exciting. We figure we'll take it a little bit lighter this fall. Everyone, again, is still getting used to this virtual learning, and we're all still trying to navigate what the heck is going on in the world. We'll reach out with doing some chicken dinners. We'll send out, once we nail down some dates, we'll make sure we let everybody know. And we'll figure out the holiday shop. I have to look into one company that I was interested in with doing the holiday shop. They were giving us either like $1,000 you would earn. You would have to sell like a stupid amount, like 20, like there would have to be like $20,000 in sales for your school to get like $1,000 kickback. It was really dumb. Or you won like prizes. And I was like, well, that's not helpful. We normally get like a pretty good percentage kickback with some of our other partners. So I'm going to keep looking, and maybe the company that we normally work with will end up switching to an online option. Right now they don't. That's the drawback of the full holiday shop with the company that we usually use. They haven't transitioned to a fully online system, but hopefully they will. My next update is about school pictures. This is a fun one to talk about because there isn't a for real answer on everything yet. So I have been talking with the folks from the picture place, and when I first wanted to let them know that, hey, we're not going to be in school on the 25th for picture day. What is your plan? All of our students are remote right now, and a lot of other schools are doing the same thing. What are you guys doing? And all they wrote back is, we're flexible. Whatever you want to do, let us know. And I said, that's awesome, but that's not helpful. They're willing to come in on multiple days. And I said, okay, well, we have a group of students coming in October, and then we have another group of students that will be coming back in November, mid to late November. And then we have a whole nother large subset of students who may not be coming back at all, that are going to be going virtual. And their recommendation was to then set up a whole different date for those students that if they want to get their school picture taken, to come in. And I said, okay, I will pose that out there to the school and to the principal and see where we go from there. We have not picked any dates. We haven't done anything, but that's just kind of where it is. Again, they're being extremely flexible, and they'll pretty much do whatever we want. Anybody have any, Kia, do you have any insight on that? Oh, there's chat.
I'm actually doing virtual.
One of the things that I put in the chat is if we could start with kindergarten, whatever the plan is, because kindergarten currently don't even have ID badges and photos to show who they are in Infinite Campus. That being said, they are the first to return to school. Right now, the current plan is kindergarten, pre-K, and first grade, and it will be cohorts A and B on the different days. One of the questions I asked for the chat is for those families who have selected the virtual academy option. Would you be willing to bring the kids to school for
Yeah, I believe so. I know I would, as far as with Anthony goes, we would.
Yeah,
but
we would.
it's one of those, they would probably set it up privately, and you'd have to come in and obviously organize the way they were organizing everything else and keep them separate. I'm sure you'd get even the virtual families to come in.
Okay,
Yeah,
so that's good to know. And then Katie, my question with that then is how many cameras can we get going? Because if we can get virtual families to come in and we schedule them like maybe 10 minutes apart, and we have cameras, we can divide the gym, we have 2 halves of the gym, use 2 separate doors, assuming it's nice weather. We use the community room as one area, and we can pick a 4th area. Depending, I know in my previous district, sometimes they would say, depending on the size of the school, they wouldn't send that many cameras, but because we need to do it in a socially distant way, I'm wondering, would they send more cameras in order to bring the virtual academy kids in? As far as the hybrid children, we will be able to take their pictures, you know, assuming our infection rates stay down under whatever the governor said, 5%, then they are scheduled to return on October 13th, you know, starting with A group and then B group. We also have an orientation, which I will speak to when we get to the principal's report. We have an orientation that is set up for A day and A cohort and B cohort kids on September 30th and August 7th, pending October 7th cabinet. So we could, at that time, distribute information related to picture day and what it would look like. For virtual academy kids, we can possibly mail the information related to what it will look like when they take school pictures after we bring in the first cohort of kindergarten and first grade students.
Hey guys, I have a thought. Do you think with the size of the cohorts coming in the 2 days of the week, would we be able to get the kids that are in the school done in the morning and then use the afternoon for the virtuals to come in? And then we'd have 2 days that week, obviously, and then 2 days again in November where we could repeat the extra virtuals when the older grades come in? Do we think something like that might pan out?
That's a great idea, but again, we wouldn't want to stage them all in the community room. We would need a number of photographers to commit to coming. And we
Right, yeah.
would space them out in order to, you know, have the kids come, stand 6 feet apart. Staff members come, stand 6 feet apart with their children.
Would we be able to use
Right.
the
You're right,
gymnasium
Mary.
for something like that? Because that's got a lot of room in it. We could
And
probably set up.
they won't have children who return. Yep, we can do that too.
Sorry, I was actually thinking the timings. I know you had mentioned the community room and the gym, so I figured we'd already have them spaced, but was thinking for scheduling that might be an idea.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of depends on the numbers too.
Yeah. Currently, like, I think cohorts are as large as 9 on either cohort A or cohort B. But we also know that there will be some families who choose to keep their children home at the end of this period, and there will be some families who will change their minds based on, you know, the last couple of weeks of remote learning and say they want their kids to opt in, which they will be given an opportunity to do so at a later date through Mr. Spagnolo's office.
Okay, well, I will work with them on finding out how many cameras we can get on each day, so we can work on maximizing being socially distant, and we can work on setting those dates up for our first group that's coming in October and and see how that works first.
I don't know if we can do it all morning and afternoon, but I can sit down and play with the virtual academy numbers when we get the next report from Mr. Spagnola. Jennifer, Mrs. Garland, from your perspective, how late would you want to do this? Let's assume you bring the kindergarten kids back on October 13th. What would you say, the end of October before we pull them out for photos? What do you think, timeline-wise?
I think that would be fine.
Okay.
I think that bringing them back the first week would be a little bit crazy because we have to get them acclimated and knowing the routine of being back in the building. So I would think something about like the end of October would be good.
Okay, sounds good.
Mm-hmm.
And the last thing I just had, the last bullet point I have here, just because we don't have those little sheets of paper to mail home to everybody, is just to make sure that you register and pay for your membership this year. I will go ahead and send you guys that, or pop that link up in the chat in a minute. But going to the benfranklin.memberhub.store, Your membership is $7. If you want to add on a second member, they're then $5. Any additional member. So it could be your spouse, it could be your parent, it could be your grandma, it could be your neighbor, whoever else you want to add to help our membership numbers. If they're just the additional $5. But since, again, we're not there in the school, we're not sending home those papers in your kids' backpacks to encourage membership, we still have to pay. I went on and I paid this afternoon for me and my spouse. So just if everybody can make sure that they pay their membership, we in turn have to pay our membership to New York State. That is very helpful.
The
So-
teachers, do you want
Yep,
the
go ahead.
teachers to share it out again, Katie, like they did last year with the staff, like encouraging the members?
That would be great.
Mrs. Garland and Mrs. Russell. Oh, she just put the link in the chat. Oh, Mary's on it. There you go. Thanks, Mary.
So there, and I was gonna ask, can we have like the teachers put that on the Google Classroom for the parents to see, or could we do like a phone burst or email burst or text burst or whatever it is you guys do? But if we can stick them in all the Google Classrooms, that might help.
Which takes us to another point, right, Katie? Are you going to talk about it or were you going to wait until we?
Well, I wasn't sure if you would, well, until you gave me the green light, but
Kate, we are going to work on ways to have a Google Classroom just for PTA. We'll know maybe by tomorrow, the end of the day tomorrow, and then it can be posted there. But I'm sure teachers wouldn't mind sharing it with their families too. Mary Ann, to answer your question.
I don't want to get excited about stuff that until it's ready, guys, but hopefully something really exciting for the PTA will be happening very soon in the virtual world.
By tomorrow. That's what
Hopefully by tomorrow. All right, so moving on. Holly, do you have anything that you would like to share with the group regarding box tops?
Yeah, we have 5620 in the box tops that we earned so far. If anyone wants to take over, I don't want to do that or the birthday bulletin anymore due to family situations at home. So if anyone's willing to take it over, I'm more than happy to tell you how to do it and teach you if you like. Just reach out to me.
So can I ask how your number is different than the number in my app that gave us our school total? So the number I had pulled was in what it told me that the school had as a total. And so how is yours different? Where are you pulling your number from?
I'm pulling mine right from the app as well.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Maybe somebody made a
Oh, I'm sorry. No, you're right. It's 4440. My lifetime learning so far for this year was 5620. Sorry about that. I looked at the wrong one.
Okay.
You see how much I go shopping and buy stuff that has box tops on it.
All right. Thank you. I just wanted to be prepared in case you weren't in the meeting today. Sorry. I just didn't want to not have.
No, you're okay.
Just for, I'm going to share that amount with the teachers. How much was it again? 4430 right now?
4440.
44.
It restarted in July, so it makes sense that that number is a little bit low since it just kind of kicked off, but
34?
44.
4440. Got it. Sorry.
Do you not see my presentation anymore?
You know what? When I'm taking notes, I don't.
Oh, okay.
I'm just not that good. Like, I know there's a way. I just.
Okay.
Sorry.
I'm just clicking through lots of stuff too. So if you guys don't all of a sudden you stop seeing the presentation and you see like my notes or something else that you probably shouldn't be seeing, somebody let me know. That'd be great.
Sorry about that.
That's okay. All right. Miss Donna.
Sorry, trouble trying to take myself off mute. Okay. General, I was going to remind you all the same thing. If we could make a point of trying to go into Member Hub and updating our membership for this year, that'd be terrific. I am going tomorrow morning to apply the PTA for a debit card so that, Katie, I don't know the terms you were using before, but so that if in the future we have to virtually take a membership a different way or however, I don't know what your terms are, but I'll have that for that soon. Scholastic. Okay, folks. So Scholastic, we are no longer allowed to use the Scholastic money that we earn at the book fairs for our newsletters. We are allowed to take a kickback from the book fairs and keep in our bank account. However, it's nowhere near ever how much we would get in Scholastic money. So we have been tossing around the idea of the high cost of the Scholastic newsletters, because I know that the PTA has always taken care of them in the past because we've been able to use the Scholastic money, which has covered it. You're talking about $4,000 a year just for that, when we do cover quite a few other items. So Katie has the 2020 budget as well as my treasurer's reports where I've made the adjustments and included it in there as something we would, if we were going to entertain the idea of adding it to our budget, the PTA's budget. However, last year we made in a kickback in the BOGO book fair $1,000. And that's more, we made more, I think, in that one than even the earlier fall one. So that's a lot for us to cover. Just throwing the idea out there that we talk about this and see if there are upsides or downsides before we make this something that we're gonna, not to mention, I mean, are we having book fairs this year? I mean, we've got it this year, as far as we're already committed to paying for it this year. And it's just a proposal, it could always be changed, but something to think about. And then the only other thing I would have on my treasurer's kind of notes here is the budget for approval, which again touches back to the one main change on there is Scholastic. So Katie, if you want to elaborate more, because I don't know if that's clear to anybody, if they understand what we're trying to say.
So for Scholastic, they offer these newsletters that get sent home. They go to the teachers. We've always provided them. They were covered through these things through Scholastic dollars, and we earned Scholastic dollars when we threw our book fairs. We always just took the Scholastic dollars, and we were for years and years and years able to use these dollars to cover the cost. Well, Scholastic changed their platform and how their business model, and they no longer accept the Scholastic dollars that we can earn to pay for the newsletters. Now they require actual cash payment for the newsletters, which cost, again, $4,000 a year for our population of that. So we had enough money to be able to cover it for this year. However, moving forward, we want to make sure that everybody is aware of what an expense that is, so that when we have that as a line item and for fundraising and what we need to accomplish to be able to continue to provide these newsletters for the teachers and for the students, and to say back to the teachers, now you have to start collecting $5 per student in your classroom if you want to provide those. You know, we never want to do that. We always wanted to make sure that we were able to provide for the students. But it's quite the investment, unfortunately. It's actually pretty unfortunate that Scholastic changed that part of their business model. So that's a change in the budget, and what we have to, yeah, it's that flimsy little pamphlet thing. It's so silly that it's so expensive, but apparently, again, the kids love it, you teachers love it, so we want to continue to supply and support that if that's what the school wants, but we want everybody to just recognize how much that costs, and if we want to continue to move forward with it, what we need to do to make sure that we can have that year after year. When it comes to book fairs this year, we obviously cannot have them in person. We had talked about in our board meeting this weekend, you know, even if we had the setup in the community room and we only brought in a few students at a time, I mean, how are we going to sanitize? How are we going to keep things? There's really no way with the COVID rules that we could have a book fair in person. Books have to be once things are touched. I mean, with all the rules, as you guys know, teachers in your classrooms, you can't have stuff out. You can't have people touching things, and it's just too much of a liability. They do offer virtual book fairs, but I've attempted to run virtual book fairs multiple times. I mean, the promotion wasn't great. It was only being promoted on social media. Maybe if the promotion was more through the teachers and through Google Classroom, we may have a better response from families. But we have not really had any sales through our virtual book fairs through Scholastic. So I don't think we would see nearly the return from a virtual book fair like we do the in-person book fairs. We do very well with those. So
I have a thought. I don't remember what the amount was for the Scholastic newsletter, but my thought is, what if, like right now for School Spirit, I'm just throwing it out there, we can't have assemblies, and even to do a virtual assembly, I feel like the limited amount of, you know, direct contact the students are getting, whether they're here, you know, hybrid or still virtual, I would hate to pull kids, you know, from that at this point to do a virtual assembly. Could we take some money out of School Spirit line?
To cover the Scholastic is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, now, this is what we decided at the last board meeting. It was voted on and part of the budget. We do have a little over 1,000 in our book fair line, budget line, because we took that one kickback in spring. And that right after that is, you know, we got pandemic. But so you're looking at, that's when we decided we had the order came to, which we're supposed to be getting shortly, right? I don't know when we're supposed to be getting this, right, Katie?
yeah, I don't think we've gotten a bill yet.
Right. Well, the order came to, this is their, I don't know if it's more or less, but that's why I guesstimated 4,000. $3,789. We have $1,395.55 in Scholastic dollars that they're going to apply to this bill, leaving us with $2,393. Once we take the 1,015 off of that, we'd have 1,373 or 78, which we already agreed and approved that we were going to take that off the bottom of each grade level field trip.
I think I remember that, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, that divided by 5. So you're looking at about $276 just off the bottom of each grade level, not including pre-K, so that's separate. And that's nothing. And if we actually get to a point where we're at the end of the year, somehow miraculously everybody can go on a field trip every grade level, even every grade level one field trip, you'd still have enough to pay this bill. So, you know, but that's this year.
Right.
Next year, I mean, if we're allowed to go on field trips, I'm not going to speak for anybody. I would assume everybody take every opportunity they could get.
Right.
Right. And that's why I'm thinking ahead, trying to pre-plan.
So this year, though, we're good. Teachers are getting it this year based on what you're saying. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, the reason we're bringing it up, and we're going to kind of continue to talk about it at each meeting, especially if there's new members that aren't participating, is we don't, in case the urgency starts to come of pushing fundraisers, it's gonna happen because we're gonna feel that all of a sudden there's gonna be a hole that we're gonna need to fill for you guys to be able to do the fundraisers, to be able to have some school spirit money when that time, when we need that, and we're gonna need to be able to buy these newsletters that we want the students to have. So we're good now, but eventually I think it's going to end up catching up with us. And I really want to try and stay on top of the game so that we don't feel that burden and we don't have to put that burden on the students or parents at all. So that's all. We just want to talk about it now so it's not a surprise to anybody next year when all of a sudden we're like, oh my God, we need money for this. But if we have any, new ideas or think of anything else, we're trying to, let's steal from Peter to pay Paul, shift money around as much as we can in the best.
Katie, is it possible to pull my budget for approval up and see if this way you could all kind of, because I highlight it, I know it's very tiny writing. I did highlight, again, every year they ask for 10% more in members. So we're gonna ask everybody to ask your aunts and uncles and your neighbors that don't know you, please support your PTA and pay your membership dues and join. And then you'll see down, yep, right there. Yep, perfect. I'm pointing at it, but so are you. That's where I put in, yes, for my estimate for in the future, next year, kind of as we go along. That's what we'd be looking at. Now, it's only an estimate because I don't know. I think it goes by student, like the field trips do, their total charges, but I don't know that either. So that's just a jump off point right there. And then not much else has changed. This would be an author year, not a t-shirt year. So that's obviously a changed amount in the budget. Everything else we pretty much kept same as last year. So even if you pulled out last year's revised budget for approval from the beginning of the year, it'd be pretty close to this. So, I mean, basically, we could always bring it back up next meeting. If there's something really important that we need to discuss about changing or is working or is not working. But for now, I'd like to know if everybody has a chance to look at it and what our thoughts are on it, yay or nay.
Hey, Donna,
Yes.
do we have the number from state, how many we have to have this year yet?
From, yes, we need, well, it's 10%, so it's not a number. I don't have a number of how many. Well, let me see if I can figure it out. Hold on. No, that won't work because that won't work. The amount that we need to make in membership is 424. I don't think you can take that divided by 7 because I think that's like 60 right there with members.
Okay.
That means, I don't know, Marianne, do you have the numbers of how many we had last year?
We had, I think, 113 or 126. Kind of confused with the year before. One we had one and one we had the other. I know we get about 45 parent families.
And the teachers.
Most of the teachers, and then what the rest of us fill in with all our stray relatives.
Yeah, I know 3/4 of my family are members. They don't even know it.
Yeah, mine too.
All right, well, I say that's got to be, hold on, that's got to be, so at least 106? Is that right? Something's not right with my math here. I'll figure it out, but we've got to make that. We came close last year, but it goes up 10% every year. That's why we're asking. Get the word out. If
106 actually sounds like what we were supposed to make last year or the year before. So probably
Okay.
pretty close to that.
Yeah, okay, right in that range. Okay. Okay, so why don't we go around the room and give us some hays or nays on the budget if we're. Anybody? Anybody? Katie?
Oh, I'm good.
Start with Katie. Let's start with Katie.
I'm good.
For me.
Okay. All right. Hold on. I'm gonna go in order. Okay, Katie, yay or nay?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Marianne?
Yes.
Chat.
Holly?
I think Holly said she was dropping off.
Holly, yay or
Yes.
nay? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Lindsay?
Sorry.
Okay. Christine?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Kelly? Kelly, yay or nay? Oh, where did
Yes.
she go? Yes. Mrs. Gerland?
Yes.
Is Denise still there? Thought I saw Denise somewhere. Oh, there she is. Hello, Denise. Mrs. Evans?
Yes. And did we say, I'm sorry, that we will have an opportunity, depending upon what revenue, what we are able to raise, to revisit monthly, whether or not we would be cutting Scholastic completely?
We're going to have to. I mean, under the circumstances that we have, I mean, we haven't been able to really sit down and hash a lot of things out. And so I'm just going to throw it out there that if we need to go back to it and touch on these things again as we find out more information, because it's impossible to get information from some of these, like Scholastic. It took us forever, and how many emails to get, you helped us with the email. Just for them.
And we still are waiting on a bill.
Right, exactly. So that's why I'm saying it's something that I think we should make it. We're recording. Let's plan to at least in a month to two meetings, let's go back and at least touch on this subject. But if we're okay for now with passing the approval for the budget, then we'll just make a note on the side, come back and talk about Scholastic.
Thanks, Anna.
I saw Laura, you guys there? Yes, yay, nay? Laura? Yeah, okay, yay. Ashley?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Mrs. Russell? I saw Naomi. I keep a list for our personal records, but I saw Naomi, and I'm not sure who that is. May I say hi? Yay or nay? Okay, overall, that's everybody. We are passed for today. Okay, that's it for me. Thank you for the moment. That's all I need to talk about, Katie.
All right. Miss Mary Ann, do you have anything that you would like to share, ma'am?
No, Donna pretty much covered it with the, when you pop the secretary report up and she pushed the member hub. So yeah, pretty much we want to push member hub for membership this year, since we can't exactly hand out and or rope people into it at the open house and the quarter carnival like we usually do. So we'll have to be creative on pushing for that membership and encourage it as much as possible whenever you do have contact with parents.
Thank you. All right, and now I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Evans.
Thanks, Katie. So first of all, welcome back, everybody. We are glad to have you all here. I said that before, but we're glad to have you all here, and I hope that you all are, have had an enjoyable summer and staying healthy and staying safe. And and dealing with this as best as we can. So again, welcome back. Update on devices. We've had 2 rounds of device distributions. We literally got the first round of devices like over the weekend before Labor Day, and we turned them around as quickly as we possibly can. And so with that, we still had a large number of people who didn't fill out device request forms, may have thought they have filled out the device request forms. The link is back live if you know anybody who's saying that they still need a device. There is a wait list right now, just to be very honest with you, but tech has been doing a great job of turning them around as quickly as possible. Like usually for a district to go 1-to-1, just to give you a little bit of perspective, they sometimes take an entire school year planning to implement 1-to-1 devices. And these people have been working round the clock just to get things out there. And so we appreciate everybody's patience, but I want you to know a little bit of behind the scenes what's happening in order to make this possible. Originally, we were saying no sibling sets, but guess what? We were able to find another vendor and order more devices. So we have more devices and we were able to give them to siblings. And we have another shipment that we believe is coming in the end of September. So again, hopefully most people who've requested a device have gotten them. If you hear anyone in the community saying that they've requested a device and they did not receive one or they haven't received confirmation, please encourage them to check the link. We did determine that there were a number of people who thought they had requested a device, but if they never received a confirmation email, they really hadn't completed the process. Similarly, you need to request for each child in your household that you're hoping to obtain a device for, or the district will default to assuming that you meant one device. Cohorts in Virtual Academy. Currently, as you know, students have been divided into cohorts A, cohorts B, and cohort A, cohort B in the Virtual Academy. Parents will receive notification. I believe it will be through district office and also located on the district's reopening page. What you will be asked to do is basically confirm that you want the student to continue to come back to school hybrid, or you want them to continue to come back to school or remain in the Virtual Academy once we open our doors on October 13th. Daily attendance will count even though we are remote, and you may have received the shout out that I sent today, which spoke to attendance. Starting today, teachers were taking attendance in Infinite Campus. Parents also have an option to mark their students absent by signing into the parent portal, but for all K-4 classrooms, our teachers are doing it for you when they see the students each morning. Open house update, I also shared that through a shout out today, and that we're moving the date. We're, again, with us still working on devices, working on some of the kinks related to cohorts, Virtual Academy, and what each of your children's day will look like. We just determined that we need additional time. There are still things that we can't even answer. If you asked us the questions right now, we can't even give you the answers because we don't know what it's going to look like 2 weeks from now and what devices and what equipment will arrive based on what it looks like in 2 days from now. So please expect more information on that. I think I spoke to the next part, plans for the Virtual Academy. If you know family people who are asking, because I'm getting this question almost daily, if I originally signed up for the Virtual Academy, but I want my children to attend school, how can I change my mind? So just, again, expect to receive communication from the district office. That all goes through Frank Spagnuolo's office. Frank, he handles registrations for the district. And those parents who opted for the virtual only, you basically signed up for that sort of like registration for this time period. So that's where your registration was held, but that can be changed. Grades K and 1, we will have an orientation for students in grades K and 1 on September 30th and October 7th. Cohorts A will be permitted to attend school on October 30th. We use the Wednesday because the Wednesdays are our asynchronous days. So we just learned this information on Friday. My direct supervisor was taking it to cabinet today, and we were waiting on approval for these dates, but you will receive additional information regarding these orientations. The orientations will involve the students have an option to take the bus to school, or for families who've opted out of transportation, they will drive their students to school. They will have some time coming into the classrooms, kindergarten and first grade students, and they will basically learn sort of some of the organization rules and procedures for the classroom environment with COVID-19 in mind. So where are they sitting? Where are the mask breaks? Where are they putting their belongings? Individual boxes of Kleenex, where does it go? you know, where are their individual manipulatives, where do they go? So they'll come through and they'll do that. But we also want to plan some fun activities with including in using our special areas teachers to help facilitate that, whether they are, you know, we take them outside if it's nice enough and draw on the sidewalk with chalk, or, you know, maybe even another book walk like we had for our kindergarten orientation, just ways to really make them feel a little bit more comfortable about the transition for those students who are returning to school on October 13th. We will hold another orientation at a later date for 2, 3, and 4. So before we can schedule that, we have to first bring back kindergarten in 1, pay attention to what the governor is telling us, look at our numbers, you know, making sure that the infection rate stays below what it's supposed to stay in order for schools to be allowed to reopen. And then we're permitted to put another orientation for grades 2, 3, and 4 on the books. I apologize. In addition to cohorts A and B, all self-contained students will also be given an option to return on September 30th and October 7th, because those students will also be permitted to return to school on October 13th, and they will return 4 days a week as opposed to 2 days a week. Update on PPE. A lot of supplies have arrived according to our district office. So we do, if you come into the building, which you are permitted to come into the building now, you would just have to sign in. Your sign-in process will be like you attesting to it. So whoever's going to do the birthday board, I know Holly mentioned she wanted to give that up right now, but we would be able to work with the PTA to allow people to come into the building as long as they are going through the process of coming in, signing in, and attesting to not having any of these symptoms related to COVID-19 or being in contact with any who have those symptoms. We are still waiting on some of the actual material to arrive to our actual building. So I have not seen some of these things that I've been told have arrived, but I've been told they're coming in, which is a good thing, including like the polycarbonate for each of the students' desks, additional masks, additional hand sanitizer. Also with hand sanitizer, the district is not, our position is we can't ask families to send it in with their children. We can't ask families to send in Lysol wipes with their children. However, we will not tell families who decide to do so that they cannot. So I can't ask you to do it, but if you choose to send it and it's for your individual child's consumption, they're going to use it. You know what their allergies are. You know, you've trained them on what you want them to do before they have their meals. Or we're going to make them wash their hands all throughout the day too. But if this is something that you've worked on with your children and you send that with them, we will not, like we would have in the past, tell them that they cannot have that on their person or in their book bags. As of today, everything that I tell you is always as of today, because one thing I've learned since March 13th is that things change every day. Update on meals and meal cards, and we have Donna on the phone right now too. So you should have received meal cards for students in your belongings bag. For kindergarten families, they've been mailed to you because we had the kindergarten orientation before we got the cards from food services. So those who did not pick up meals on Wednesdays, last Wednesday, they did not receive their cards. So they're in the mail. If you haven't received them yet, you should get them in a day or two. At this time, even though we are a community eligibility school, which means that all students are entitled to free breakfast and free lunch based on our eligibility to be a CEP school, you still are asked to bring the meal card with you and display the meal card when you pick up meals on Wednesdays. Meal distribution will take place every Wednesday from 11 to 1 and 4 to 6. So please encourage participation in that. Some of the families, especially through Facebook, have also, they said, where do we sign up for, support for families who need to provide support? And the district has been responsive, and they're offering a number of different virtual support sessions. And so the dates and the times and the links are listed below. Ironically, we had to use Zoom because Zoom allows more callers than Google Meets does. So we use Zoom in case we have an increase, like a large number of people who want to participate in these training sessions. But it will be a virtual support session, a question and answer component, and just opportunities for parents to just think through some of the, maybe even just its difficulty questions that they may have, just in order to be able to better support your students on either their virtual day, if they're hybrid, or their fully remote days. I think that's it for me.
Can I add just one thing about the meals?
Yes, ma'am.
If you do not have your card yet, please come anyways. If your child is in the Kenton School District, or your neighbor's kid is, or your best friends or your aunts, and they don't have a card yet, every child in the Kenton school system is on our computer, and we can look them up. Whether they go to pre-K, if they're pre-K, where they're maybe not registered yet, but kindergarten all the way through high school. If you have an aunt and her niece goes to, or daughter goes to Kemmer East and doesn't have a card yet, come to the school and just give the name, and they'll be in the system. So you can let anybody know who isn't coming to eat. And again, like he has said, tomorrow two times. So 11 to 1 and 4 to 6. And if you come 4 to 6, I'll see you then.
Thank you, Donna. And Katie just shared the link for the virtual family support sessions. Please, by all means, go ahead and copy and paste that link, and feel free to send it out to any of your friends. You know, we've also been doing things on a one-on-one basis. Families who are really struggling with technology, we've invited people to come sit in the grass, bring your blanket, let's sit 6 feet apart. Let's work through the device issues, because we really know it's early in the year and we're all working through the kinks together, and we don't want families to be frustrated, and we don't want you to give up on us. So again, we are here to help, and we look forward to continuing to work with families, with all of you.
Mary, Mrs. Gerland, does anybody have anything that you'd like to share from a teacher's perspective?
Although I don't have anything specific to share from the teacher's perspective. We've been so busy getting our classrooms ready and working with all of the online technology. And I can speak for myself and all the teachers in the building that while this isn't the normal way that we start school, I'm so happy to see all of the smiling faces and reading the stories and just having the children come back and interact with them. I can't wait till October 13th. I'm crossing my fingers that everything stays the way that it will, so that we can start having them come back into the school, because I want, and I know we all want, nothing more than that. So just to say how happy we are to be back and getting back into this routine, even though it doesn't look quite normal right now. And to please, especially, I know I can speak for myself, just to bear with us as teachers, because we are learning a lot of new programs and a lot of new technology, much of which may be new to us. So we're taking things slowly, but we want you to know that if you have any questions, please reach out to us. If we don't know the answers, we'll find them out for you, whether it be through, our tech days out in the building or tech support. And we are here for you. We're here to help, and we'll get through this together.
Jen, thank you. You mentioned a lot of great points, and just along those lines, I want you to know, I know some people have voiced their concerns through tech services, and they haven't gotten a response. And it's really, truly, again, we're down 3 individuals in tech services. We went 1-to-1 in 3 weeks, 4 weeks, from the time that the governor went out and said what he said about schools reopening, and the time that, we long story short, they are behind. Last weekend, my direct supervisor texted all the principals in the district, and he said, do you have any retired teachers who can come in and help? And so we were all sending them all our phone numbers of retirees, recently retirees. And now we have one from Franklin, Mrs. Wilson. She's over there helping out with tech support. So we even think that your questions that are going past the classroom level and up to the tech services, you'll start to see a faster turnaround as we continue to work together and move forward as well. Thank you for your patience too.
I can just say, school spirit wise, we don't know what's happening. So, we're just gonna kind of wait and see how the school year goes. But as a related service provider in the school, the parents have been absolutely phenomenal. I as a speech path was told we could use Zoom. all the way up through last Thursday afternoon, I got an email saying, oh no, sorry, you can't use Zoom, so go to Google Meets. So parents have been fantastic. All the parents I've worked with, I say, I'm learning, I'm so sorry. I know you're getting yet another email, but thank you to all the parents that are being patient and, learning as we go.
Awesome. Do any other PTA members have anything that they'd like to share or any new business that they'd like to bring up?
Katie, I do have one. What do you want me to do with all these baskets from March? Because they have food in them. So I'm assuming the food will be spoiled and I want them out of my garage.
I'm in the same boat as you. I've got baskets in my basement. We've got baskets in the community room. If it has food in it, feel free to open it up and discard the food. And then, I don't have an answer because we don't have a basket raffle planned because we can't have a basket raffle. I thank you for continuing to hold on to them. If you know who, family who needs them and you want to donate any of that, or who donated it to you and you want to ask if they'd like it back. I went through all of the gift card donations that we have, and I have all of that separated for whenever we do move forward with such an event, of asking to see if these vendors ever want to give us again and renew their expiration dates. But yeah, Kia, we were going to ask you about coming into the school, the same thing with the baskets that are in a closet, that's in them, about opening them and at least discarding the food so none of that goes bad. Don't have an answer, unfortunately, Holly. I thank you for holding on to them. If you could hold on to them for a little longer, and if you cannot, if you'd like to donate them to somebody else or another organization that is doing a basket raffle. Or if anybody else is able to take them, I am.
Hey, Holly, is it stuff that once you get the food out, you could just combine into some boxes or bins, and maybe we just put new baskets together next time we get the basket raffle going?
Yeah, some of them are. So I just don't want the wine to freeze that's in my garage and they have wine all over the place, or you know what I mean?
I could probably fit a couple bins of stuff in my basement. Just don't tell Daddy.
I won't.
I don't have tickets.
How about we try basket raffles? Mary, Jen, what do you think? What if we tried to get the staff to purchase some of the baskets? What do you think? Just to start getting rid of them, because you guys have been holding on to them. We were supposed to have the raffle on March 14th. Really? Real life. And we closed on March 13th. In real life, that's 2020 for us.
I think people would probably buy tickets in the school, like staff and faculty. I think people would.
We could even be that transparent with them. We've been holding on to these baskets since March 13th, and we need to bring in a little bit of money for PTA. Please come down and make a donation.
Maybe if a couple of us could get together, get in there after hours, Katie, go through, see what we have, make a list, check with Holly. If Holly can go through, get rid of the no good food, but put the rest maybe so that we can kind of then say, hey, staff, look what we got left.
Exactly.
Over.
We can set them out on the tables and then maybe try to raffle it within the building.
Lindsay, you want to take some?
I think that would work. I think we could make it fun.
Yeah.
We could do that. Let's try that. Also, if you work with Diane to see when the community room is available and book the community room for a few hours, come in during the school day too.
Yeah, I'm sorry I popped in on you the other day. I was just seeing if there was anybody there. I know there's cookies in a basket. I'm thinking, I hope the bugs aren't getting to them.
Oh, no, that's okay. We were just using it for one of our meetings.
Okay. So I check with Diane then and see if I can block off some time to get in there. Okay.
You know what? thinking actually, if we're doing it at school, we could put it out to Franklin Middle staff also.
Yeah, yeah.
And Lindsay just said she can take 10 to 15 baskets to work. Perfect.
Holly's probably got that in her garage. No way, Holly.
Would you do it in a raffle?
Probably do, Donna.
Donna, we have the wheel of tickets. We have wheels of tickets, right?
We have wheels, yes. We have
Okay.
lots of wheels, you know. Yeah, I would think that would, yeah, that would probably be the best way to go, right?
Okay.
We could figure something out. All right, I can get a hold of Diane. If I walked in there early, would I be able to go into the office and talk to Diane before I go into work, or?
She's
the kitchen?
there around 8. What time do you arrive, Donna?
Actually, tomorrow I work 3:30 to 6:30, but usually I'm there by 10, a little before 10.
Yep, you would catch her. Mhm.
Okay, maybe we can do something where we can book something, Katie, some time aside, and see if we can't get a couple of us to just go in, see what we have, clean out. In the meantime, keep in touch with Holly and see what she's, you know, and then put something together. I'd be up for that.
Yeah, this could be a good way to test that virtual auction
Yeah.
idea. We can set up payment through Venmo with the debit card.
Yep.
And
And can you do Venmo? Is Venmo our only one, or can we do Cash App too?
well,
you could do.
So I'm trying to avoid people, one, having the baskets out at school, and two, because then it has to be manned, it has to be secure, it has to be, so if we did it virtual, then people could look at it online and they can buy tickets digital, like virtually, like how many, like if they want to buy 10 tickets that they could submit, they could then pay, again, $5, submit it via Venmo or PayPal, and then they can virtually select, I want to put a bid on this basket, this basket, this basket, and we could do a raffle. That way, actually, none of the baskets have to be sitting out anywhere in the building. We don't have to worry, not that we would anyway, but nothing walking off, no money walking off, no money actually being out, no. I'm trying to keep, we'll go in there, we'll clean it out, we'll take nice pictures, we'll get descriptions of everything, but I'm also kind of, I don't want stuff to have to be out that's going to have to be sprayed and sanitized, and the cleaners are going to be in there, and the chemicals being sprayed every night. And you see what I'm like? I just feel like there's so many more things to think about if all of a sudden we're setting up for teachers to come in and look at stuff for a week long or even a 3-day long thing.
Hey, Katie,
So if I just ran it like on
what
a,
if we did like a silent auction style thing instead? So we take pictures of everything and let all the staff look at the pictures somehow, and they, you know, bid on whatever it is. So, you know, obviously they're not going to be huge bids, but we could probably make them the same amount as we would selling them tickets individually. But this way it'd be a little easier than them having to say, I'd like 3 tickets to go in this. And then how do we pull without
you
them
do
being
like a
out there and getting split.
virtual like spin the wheel.
Okay.
Like a
But
shake up.
no, it's not the spinning the wheel or whatever else. It's the how do we get ticket numbers to people kind of thing. Whereas if we, you know, the top bidder on that basket gets, you know, so I'll spend $5 on that basket that I'd like, and if I'm the top bid, then I get it for $5 kind of thing. It's just a thought.
Yeah, we have to, I mean, I have no idea. I'm brainstorming with you out loud. I'm thinking through this.
Either that, or, you know, maybe we number the baskets, do the thing virtually, but somewhere we can put out paper bags with the numbers on them. They can get their tickets and then drop them in the baskets. Or print pictures and stick them on the bags so they can see what it is, and put the, instead of a basket being there, we have a picture and a bag, and maybe we line them up on the front of the stage in the community room.
We also, you know, I'm thinking not just for the, you know, but if families are coming once a week to pick up the meals or that, can we get a printout sheet maybe outside, you know, where then parents or families can access that too, if maybe we can get just beyond the teachers. So I feel like, putting it all on the teachers is a little too much. But if we can maybe get some of the community to go, oh, I'm walking up getting this meals, and oh, I can put in, maybe even a couple of dollars. I'll bid on one or two, just something.
Are people allowed in to get meals, or are they still doing it out the window?
Outside, out the window.
We had to put up like a big
Out.
like sheet outside or something.
Let me think. That somebody would have to man it. Somebody would have to bring out the display and be there to answer questions. Like parents would see this display sign with or these pictures and want to know what it is and what it's for and how much. Like there would be a lot involved with it, and somebody might have to be there every day. I can't. I work during the day, so.
And we do have some support staff members who are available right now, only because we are at full capacity. I mean, we have our whole staff thankfully and I'm very grateful for that. But we are like changing their duties, like monitor duties daily. I don't know if it's something that they can help with. I don't know like contract language well enough, but I know that they're eager, looking for things to do throughout their day, some days, to the point of where the teachers are like, please don't send them back down to help me right now because I'm working on this video for my children for live instruction, So we do have that as an option. I do love the idea of further developing just this thought because, what if we close again? Not like I'm trying to be that person who says, what if we close again? But what if we close again?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
The governor gives us the, nope, you're done kind of.
So if we at least start with getting some time in the community room and starting to get an idea, because Lindsay, didn't you have some? Oh, you had some, but if you take some stuff too, so why don't we get an idea what we all have? I guess what Holly has, what I know I've got like 4 shelves still at the house, not even what I put already in the auction or at the school. But why don't we get an idea, go through all that, get rid of any bad food, and then maybe by next meeting we could say, hey, look, this is what we got, and then we can make some final ideas and get it out there and get rid of it before we lose, more opportunity.
By next meeting, do you mean the October PTA meeting or?
Yes, yeah, that would give us, well, unless you think we should do it sooner.
Oh, no, October 6th is good. Another thing that's good about that is, September 30th and October 7th, we will have self-contained kindergarten, first grade students at least in the building.
Right.
I don't know how many parents will drop off for that. Lindsay, you might have an idea of how many of you kindergarten and first grade parents will want to drop off and not take the bus.
Anybody have anything else that they want to ask or bring up?
Bye, Holly. Phone battery.
Okay. Well, I have copied everything that's in the chat. So if I didn't, if we didn't get to anything in here, I'll make sure I follow up with everybody or follow up with you individually. Thank you everybody for your time.
Katie,
Yes.
before we go, did you see that last question? Were we going to be doing merchandise orders this year?
Do we want to? I don't know. I wasn't on my radar, but if we haven't, do we want to do merchandise orders?
Can I chat
Ask if the place can deliver to the families, because we're not going to be able to do like a pickup in the building, are we?
Don't they usually come in December?
Yeah, but that's.
Well, the in-school kids will be back by then, all grades. It's the virtuals that might be an issue.
Well, and like we wouldn't be able to organize all of the merchandise in the building as a big group and have people come in and pick them up.
Right.
We're not sending them home because we have, again, virtual kids.
What about if we only started with kindergarten kids, so that when we're doing our virtual dress, you know, Ben Franklin days there. Last year we gave a t-shirt to every child in the building.
That was last year. Yeah.
Kids, we got new kids after we were able to give t-shirts to every kid in the building, but what if we just focus on K for now? And then
The only issue I can see with that is that then if a parent has a kindergarten teacher or kindergarten student and we're offering, like I'd really like to see us offer the new logo, at least as one of the options. I could see then parents of, especially if they're new to the school, like I'm thinking of a family I have, they have it's not kindergarten, but let's say for giggles that it's a kindergartner and a third grader. They're going to want to order the third grade shirt with the kindergarten shirt. So I'm just thinking logistically that might be tough, but I can tell you Nickel City is the guy that we worked with for the new logo shirts. He's a Kenton grad, I believe. He's fantastic. And I mean, he may only charge the cost of like truly not to make any money on it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if somebody reaches out to him, he was amazing, and he'll do t-shirts and sweatshirt. Like he's got all sorts of apparel. All we did was just shirts.
Okay. Yeah, I'll read. Do you have his name? Is there a specific person I should follow up with?
I'll find it. I know I have it in my email, so I'll find it and I'll get that to you.
So here's a question. So last year, did we get the new logos when everybody got a t-shirt, or was it the old one?
The new.
They all got a white shirt with the new logo.
Mm-hmm.
That was provided by, those ones were provided by, that wasn't the PTA shirts because you guys ordered them earlier so that we would have them. But the white logo shirts were purchased from, oh my gosh, help me out, Kia, Jill O'Malley, Kenton Closet.
Nickel City.
Kenton Closet funded your t-shirts.
White t-shirts. All the kids got a white t-shirt with the new logo was from
now
the
this is not a t-shirt year through the PTA. This would have been a author year. So we also do have water bottles, you know, things like that. But if we do a merchandise order, we have to look into who it would be with. And because I do know that who we go through now, we put a merchandise order all at once because that's when we get the best price for each item and make a few bucks.
So because Kenton Closet and Nickel City donated our t-shirts last year, we didn't have to pay for them out of the PTA.
Right, exactly.
So if we wanted to consider having them at least for the kids who don't have one right now, I know a lot of children outgrew theirs too, as a you know, something we give them when they come in on September 30th. I don't know if we can pull this off or not. I think it's on September 30th and October 7th through the new company, the company that worked with our new logo. They would match the mask that I ordered for every child in the building because every child has a mask, every child has a lanyard, both hybrid and remote, that they'll be given when they start to return to school. The new t-shirts. It's the same logo on the mask.
Donna, do we have to go with that old company though?
We don't have to, but there's a difference between having, like, Kia, you reached out and got a grant from Kenton Closet to cover those shirts. So that would have been something the PTA provided. I'm not saying we have to stick with him, but that's the way we work it when we do a t-shirt thing, is we do a mass order, whether it be free t-shirt year or just a merchandise year. We do one order at one time because that makes the kids money towards all the fundraising we do. That's another form of fundraising per se. So that's how, I mean, that's how I have understood it to be all these years.
Yeah, but can't we do just a bulk order through a new company? I just want to make sure.
Yes, oh yeah, we could.
Contract with that old.
We could, because I mean, in theory, this isn't a author year, and it's not your normal everyday year anyway. So yes, we could work and talk on something like that, but that would have to be something we would have to get some numbers for and put out there on the, everybody has a right to know kind of a thing, just so that everybody understands what we're doing.
What if our amount that we have allotted, so I think I saw in the budget, it's like 1,800. What if
it's
for the author?
like, yeah, for two t-shirts, it's around 2,800.
Okay, so if we took our amount that we're typically able to spend on t-shirts and we do that for all the students, we take that, does that cover every single student? And if it doesn't, then you think it could at least?
That's what I don't know.
reduce?
I don't even have a total of students yet.
Okay.
Because we were not all back, so I mean, I could tell you right now, probably, yes, hold on.
So here's a question while you're thinking. Could we do something, let's hope in the spring life is a little bit more back to normal and we can get in the building and hand stuff out? Could we do an order then if we needed to or wanted to?
We could do an order whenever. I just figured right now, if we do a mass ordering, that's when we're going to get the best price point, is the only point I'm trying to make. If you take what we had allotted last year for t-shirts, free t-shirts for the children at $5 a t-shirt, it's 467 t-shirts we could get. And we have on average, 535 elementary kids, or up or down from there. So that's still in there and leaves a few extras for those stragglers that come in or out and so on. We could do something like that. I think it would be wise to probably look into seeing a couple different estimates. That's all I'm saying. Because, yeah, we could definitely do something like that. I would just have to change it around so that everybody on the up and up knows what we're doing, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. But could we do that, Katie? Get some estimates from maybe Nickel City or Mrs. Evans? I don't know who got them before.
Yeah, well, we definitely want to ask Nickel City because they produced the new logo. So we want everything to have the new logo.
And Mary's connected with them. She's being modest right now, but she knows people over there. Mary knows someone who knows someone over there. So
okay.
I put it in the chat. The owner is Keith Marzik, and his email is in the chat there. And if you honestly, I mean, I could even email him if you want me to, Katie. I'd be happy to make that contact if you'd like, and just say, hey, we're looking at, I mean, I know it's all up in the air. I can find out, will he ship to the families? Or, I mean, I can try to work on, I can ask him all those questions. I can ask him what his base price is, and then go from there to see, I mean, this could be a fundraiser. We don't have our other fundraisers right now. This could actually be a fundraiser for the fall right now. And if people had them before the holidays, maybe moms and dads would like, I don't know, sweatpants, whatever, but I'm more than happy to contact Keith. We talked a lot when we were doing the t-shirts. And I also love that, Mrs. Evans, I love that you want to give everyone a t-shirt, but last year was the first year that, like that truly, I mean, PTA does them every other year, but we don't usually just do that. So I love that you want to do that. I'm just saying.
I guess that's why I was like, wait, we're doing what? But okay. I mean, if you wouldn't mind, you know what, Mrs. Russell, I can actually forward you. I have some of the information of things that parents and teachers and that have gotten just merchandise wise, I know it's the old logo, but I'm saying, I'm sure Nickel City has comparable things, and then you can email
That'll be
him
great.
with, you know, so if I
Yes.
send you some junk, I'll email you some junk.
Yes, that would be awesome, because I'm not sure, does he just do clothing? I
Yeah,
don't know, so that would be great.
okay, will do.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, anybody have anything else they'd like to bring up this evening? I appreciate everybody's time tonight, and this has been one of our most productive meetings, and this is pretty amazing since we're virtual. So thank you so much for spending your entire Tuesday night with me and all of us here. I have taken notes. I've copied everything in the chat. I'm going to read through everything. Hopefully our new virtual thing that is in the works is going to come through. And if so, all of the things, the budget Excel sheets, the slide deck from tonight, the actual meeting notes or meeting minutes that we have will be all uploaded in this fun new thing that Kia and I are working on. So we don't have to worry about where is all this stuff going to be. Everyone will have access to all of these things moving forward. But if you have any questions, don't hesitate to email us, benjaminfranklinpta@gmail.com, or, you know, obviously you can always email Mrs. Evans and she can direct that to us. If you need like a direct line, I know hers is, sorry, Kia, but I know you're a little bit easier to get to. But thank you so much, everyone. Have a wonderful evening. I appreciate you, and we will be back here on Tuesday, October 6th at 6:30 via Zoom. Have a good night. Bye.